Alright, cats, I need your help. I found an extra potato liner around and I don't know what to do with it. What should I do? You got any fun ideas? They're not very helpful, are they? Well, I think I found something creative I could do. Ain't life funny? You do a little rearranging around your living room, but somehow your cats are trying to use it more often than you can. It's like, it's not my living room anymore. It belongs to a couple of furry people. Alright, then welcome to another edition to the Wandering Yuki Cheese Cafe. I know I haven't used that phrase in a little while in the beginning, but I want to go back for old time's sake. So I'm feeling like I need another good kind of sauce tonight. I've already done my rosé, I've done my bechamel, I've done my Alfredo. But there's another one that I kind of wish I had done a little earlier. Pesto. That's one of my favorite things to whip up. Just that heavenly scent of basil all crushed up with a bit of garlic. And sometimes even a bit of an oily texture too. And it's so... you can put it in anything. I've had it in like creamy pastas before. I've had pesto pizza. And I think I kind of want to put it to good use. I'll admit, I bought this basil because I originally wanted to use that for a recipe over the weekend. But never called for it, so I'm carrying over to today. Better late than never, I guess. But before I get all that started, I guess, you know the routine, everyone. I gotta fuel up. What kind of gas can I use? Alright, we should get up, but I'm not gonna jump because I'm not Jumpin' Jack Flash, because I'm not a gas. Rolling Stones, everyone! Ah! Nice montage. I'm admitting when I filmed this I didn't know what kind of music I would be putting in, so I'm just gonna say it's nice because I obviously have good taste in music. Everybody knows that. Got my trusty brew cup over here, and I got a new brew as well. Brassa du Monde. They got a nice variety of ones. Last year I definitely highlighted their double IPA that's a 5.2%er, which is kind of light for a double IPA because when I think double, I think 8% or so. But there's a new one that they never had until today. They've actually come up with a New England IPA, which I kind of got stoked. The minute I saw this door, I saw this door. Yeah. I go shopping for beer, next thing I know I love a door, so I'm going to be pulling that out. I don't even know how that happens. But I saw this one in store and I had to try it out, because it's a New England IPA and I already professed my love for it. But also because of the crazy label on this thing too. Like these rings around it with a hop in the center. I don't know. Does anyone else think this looks like Captain America's shield, but instead of the star in the center because he's going all American, that he's instead pledging his allegiance to a mission for hops? I mean, I can't be the only one thinking that when I came up with that, huh? Alright, bad joke of the day there. And it's probably not going to be the last one too. Alright, let's see what this is like. It definitely has a cloudy texture, so it's definitely an unfiltered one. Pretty typical of New England IPAs. But that being said, the color of it is not as orangey as I thought it would have been. Maybe yellowish, more so golden. Obviously the taste is going to be citrusy though. Now let's give this a taste test. I'm detecting hints of pineapple in this thing. Overall satisfactory, and one I'm definitely stoked to try as I get some pesto whipped up. And checking those messages to see who the hell is bugging me. Dude, leave me alone, I'm vlogging. Alright, let's get this started. So, your most important ingredient for doing a pesto is obviously going to be your basil. You're going to need about a good 1.5 cups of this stuff. Sometimes a bit more depending on how much of a flavor you want. And if you're like me, you don't have an indoor basil plant because you have cats and you're afraid there's someone going to leap to whatever high point is going to be in the house where they're being stored and they're going to eat the bloody stuff. So to make it easier for anyone, you just have to go to any grocery store. You pick up a pack of this stuff that says it's one bunch, and you can get all sorts of herbs like that too. And then you just wash it, dry it off, and then you just get this prepared to be chopped up. Obviously this is going to be a time-consuming thing. So the trick to this is I have over here a mini food processor I'm going to be using. First thing I've done is I put, recommended 3 cloves of garlic in here. I put a little bit more because my cloves were not a very consistent size. So I just did that to make sure it's going to be well flavored. So I'm going to set this up to pulse and then chop this up. And then once that's done, I'm going to start adding the basil and all of my other ingredients too. So stay tuned to right now. So you have to make it look like this. Why do I get the feeling that if I show this to my cats, they're probably going to be jumping up and down thinking that, oh, they got to catch the garlic while it's jumping around. But I digress. You just want to have it all minced up like this before you add your basil in. Oops, I'm going to have to pull it all off of the stem here and then get it all in. Oh well, such is life, isn't it? Okay, getting close to the end of this. Yeah. And we're done. You didn't need to see me yank stuff off of a branch before. Like, you know, if you don't know how to pull basil off a branch, I suggest you go take a course. So I've got my basil in here and I'm going to do this once again. So the idea is that you want to just chop it up enough. Actually, this is a pretty good example. Here is your garlic and your basil mixture all together when it's chopped up. So it's going to be very fine, very tender. Of course, there's more to this than just chopping up basil. You will need a few extra ingredients to get this done properly. You're going to need some salt, you're going to need some oil, and etc. But, because I want to do things a little bit differently, I'm doing a light version of this. Here's a secret for you. Okay, let's do half a teaspoon of salt now in this. Okay, so here's my secret. Most of the pestos you're going to find in store, or recipes you're going to find online, they're admittedly pretty heavy, because most of them are going to involve a copious amount of olive oil in there. Most of them will be like 2 cups of oil or whatever, which is a lot. But you don't really need to have all of that too, because there are other ways to thicken up and bind it all together. Like this recipe that I have here, it's only going to call for 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and not 2 cups as some recipes are going to say. So then those of you who've made your pesto in the past, you probably think like, how exactly are you going to make this all thicken up well enough? Well, there's other ingredients you can add to this. I'm going to be putting 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese here, which I knew was going to be coming in handy. And your other finishing ingredient is, believe it or not, bread. Yep, just plain old bread. Except you're going to have to take the crust off of this too. Can't let this go to waste, right? So here's your idea. You put minuscule amounts of olive oil in here, and then when you have your cheese and then your slices of bread, that's all going to make it thicken up together into a nice gooey paste. So you're going to get the good taste of pesto with the garlic and with the basil in here, but it's not going to be as heavy as with all the copious amounts of oil you're putting in. Actually, this bread's not bad on its own. Usually I make this with toast. So I'm going to break this up, throw it into the food processor here, and pray this thing actually works properly too, because I actually packed up more than usual. But it's funny, because I was thinking to myself, like, where's my recipe? And then I remember that years ago, like back when I think I was in university, I want to say, I had an old recipe booklet over here, or recipe dual tank. Do people call these things dual tanks anymore? Okay, I'm getting sidetracked, but I had some old recipes from cookbooks I've taken photocopies of, and lo and behold, my fettuccine and pesto recipe was still in here. And this was a cookbook that specialized in very light recipes if you want to have low-fat stuff. So it actually did wonders for me on this. This bread I'm going to keep aside just for now and see how this turns out. So I'm going to lock it in place, let it all chop, and let it all blend. Bread's not chopping up enough. Okay, break it up into a few more pieces. Alright. So it looks like it's a bit more blended now, as you can see. They're all crushed up. And of course, there is another trick to this if you want to make it a little bit more liquidy and have it more spreadable too. There. So the other trick, well, first off, this recipe was actually calling for using 1/2 cup of cooking water if you're doing this with fettuccine. But if you're not cooking any pasta when you're doing this, just get some warm water for yourself and then add it all in, and then this will let it become more like a sauce. Very saucy basil, and sexy basil too. I'm gonna have to scrape the sides to get this all mixed up again, but the point still stands. So there. You got nice, creamy basil. It's maybe lightly watered down, but it's creamy, it's gonna be tasty, and above all else, if you're worried about the fat content, don't. This stuff's way lighter, especially if you're gonna be mixing with other stuff. Unless you plan to have a spoonful of pesto. No, I'm not gonna be doing that. I've already done my stupid shit in the past. On second thought, if I don't want this thing to go to waste, if I don't want it to be too watery, I maybe use this piece of bread after all to thicken it. And eating the crust just so I don't feel guilt about wasting food again. Into small bite-sized pieces, and then mix it up one final time. There we have it. We have light pesto. And now that I have my pesto set, then, well actually once you have your pesto set, you can decide what you want to add that to. Me, I'm going to be taking that pesto and I'm going to be adding it to a little bit of flour, yeast, sugar, salt, and hot water. So if you've been paying attention to my vlogs and you're thinking about those ingredients, you already know what I'm doing over here. I've actually already set it up to create another pizza dough here. I'm going to be doing a pesto pizza today. I always enjoyed getting that when I was in restaurants, but I don't think it's been years since I've actually made one on my own. So I'm going to be rectifying that now. It gave me a good excuse to put some pizza yeast to good use. Like, I've already made enough pizzas in 1 month that I could justify getting a jar and having it sit in the fridge for 6 months. You learn something new every day. You learn what you enjoy cooking, which ingredients you're going to be putting to good use and not letting go to waste. Heck, all because of that, I've been putting the sugar to good use. Seriously, I had this because I was keeping it around for when I had guests for wanting to serve coffee, the ones that like sugar, but they've just been sitting in my pantry for who knows how long. It's like they don't serve much of a purpose, except for maybe eating, maybe? And in case you think you're crazy, bear in mind, I was a kid that used to eat a bowl of icing sugar. Ugh. How did I get away with that? In fact, why did I like that too? Okay, this is not bad. Maybe because I'm hungry right now. Now that I have my dough set, because I'm not going to tell you exactly, but once you let it sit for long enough, or I guess if you're looking on the top right corner, then you know where to find my old recipe for that. So now I got this dough set, let's get it all into the pan and let it work its magic. There we are. It's all oiled up too, so it should be fine. Then once I stretch it out, I am going to add my pesto onto this. How much of my pesto I'm going to be putting to use? That's a difficult question to answer, because first I'm going to need to find out how big this pizza is going to be in the end. Some parts are stretching pretty thick. Other parts feel like it's going to be at the tail end. But I suppose I shouldn't be complaining, because there's no such thing as a perfect looking pizza. And if there is, it's probably coming from a machine pre-made shit. So I wouldn't even count that. Imperfection is a sign of love, and that you put your own blood, sweat, tears, not literally I mean, but you put a lot of effort in making all this on your own. There. Let's get this all set up. Ooh. Sorry everybody. Don't mean to be so rude. Actually, I'm going to play this smart. Instead of making a mess on my table, I'm going to reuse this to get my pesto on here. Ooh, and it smells heavenly too. I'm telling you, basil's like one of those bare necessities of life. And if you're singing that song from the Jungle Book, you're welcome. Basil just goes good on everything in any bit of cooking. Whether it's a sauce like this, whether you're adding some cream to make it like a pesto creamy sauce, or if you're just chopping up to give it some light flavoring in a dish, it does me wonders. Love this stuff. Beauty is too is I don't have to have too much oil on it as well. It's a very light dish. Of course I am going to need some meat, but we'll get to that like in a second. And, oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention too. I did see like recipes online for gluten-free versions of pesto too. Like obviously with this one, it's not going to be a gluten-free one exactly since I am putting bread in here. But I suppose if you use gluten-free bread or other ingredients that kind of thicken the sauce, you can still get the job done too. That's something you'd have to find out as well. Nothing that a simple Google machine search will do. Maybe one more scoop here. Seems like that's been neglected. Yeah. Maybe. Oh, here. I got such an uneven surface there, I gotta balance it out. Okay. Now, pesto's all spread in here. So this I'm gonna keep aside. And as for my meat, I kind of bought this just for the heck of it because I thought I gotta put it to use. I was at a store and saw they had salami prosciutto or prosciutto salami available. And I love salami in a sandwich. I love prosciutto in many things actually. So why not combine it all together? Why not combine each different type of pig and put it into one mutant pig there? Teenage Mutant Ninja Pigs? No, it doesn't have the same reach as or vibe as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But here's how it looks. Not bad. So I'm going to put this to use. So hallelujah, we have salty pig coming up our way. Again, it seems like it's bringing me more memories of Italy again. So much salty pig and pizza ingested around that vacation. And I was super happy about it too. Actually, what's this taste like? Yeah, it almost feels like it's prosciutto with some salami, properties. It's easy to get confused because it feels like it's a bit hard and salty like a prosciutto is. I can dig it, and in fact, I'm probably gonna enjoy it a lot on this pizza. Maybe one more here. Maybe I could. Yeah, one more. I picked up a half a pound. I've still got all this. I want to put it to good use. Okay. So I have enough pesto in here if I want to do a second pizza. Got plenty of prosciutto salami here for whatever else. Now I need the important stuff to add to my namesake. I need some cheese. Getting too old for this. Well, I'm going to have a nice double portion of cheese to go with this. Good thing I bought 2 packs of mozzarella because I know that I was going to put this to use for pizza. You'd be quite surprised how much cheese is used on pizza. Alright, opened up, or at least almost. And now, do the finishing move. Oh boy, that was actually a tight squeeze for me. Never usually happens when it comes to cheese. There. Now get this all shredded up in here. This stuff is tasty. And then while I'm getting this done, I have my oven preheating to 400 like usual. So, quiz. Nah, not going to be a quiz. If you really want the answer, just look at my old videos. Once this is all done, I'm going to put it for about a good 20 minutes in the oven. And then that'll give it enough time to really crisp, cook, and brown the cheese up. Dude, I'm trying to cook here, man. This one of my buddies probably annoying me, asking me how my beer's doing, like asking me how many I'm having right now. I'll just tell him to go throw a rock at himself. He's probably going to watch this once it uploads. Oh, yeah, there's going to be a lot of cheese to use on this thing. But I'd rather have too much cheese than not enough cheese. Let me put this down, start spreading this. Boom, boom, boom. Here we are. This is good. I'm just going to need a little bit more mozzarella. That's not to say I'm all done with my cheese. I'm going to need even more cheese. More cheese, damn it! I had a Vince McMahon moment for a second. Getting close to the end of this. There. Now to get this all spread out evenly. Beautiful. And now, we need more cheese. Let's get some Parmesan on this sumbitch. Let's be generous with this. Beautiful, man. All right, this is as good as it's gonna get. So, as you're gonna look, you see one beautiful pesto salami pizza. It's like a real hodgepodge of ingredients, I have to say, but I'm sure after it's been baking its own juices in the oven, it's gonna be super tasty. Oh yeah, While I'm waiting for the oven to preheat, I still have an IPA I have to address. Yeah, not bad at all. Yeah, quite impressed by this. But then again, it's rare that I'm going to have a New England IPA that I'm not going to be impressed by. It's all super good. Yep, excellent drink you got there, dude. My buddy again. Okay, so I'm starting to run low. Got my pizza ready. I've got a cat annoying me for food again. What? Come on, man, what do you want? Once again, this spot in the kitchen, this is where he stands and meows at me if I'm in here, if he wants food. Yoshi, come on. Well, I guess I have no choice. Ooh, boy. Yep, 400 degrees. I'm gonna put this in for a good 20 minutes and I'll be eating good. And of course, if you're one of those people that keeps pressing the button for the timer on the oven, don't do that. That's just gonna go up every minute. Just hold it. It'll go up in increments of every 5 minutes until you get an hour, in which case it'll go from 1 hour to 2 hour to 3 hours. So once you go for like 5 minutes to 1 hour, stop, start again, and then you can start adding in 5-minute increments again. There you go. Cheats for the kitchen. And speaking of cheats, I gotta find a way to cheat myself into a new beer. My Captain America IPA is starting to run low. And I think I need something else. Maybe not related to the other Avengers, because having an Incredible Hulk brew would be pretty badass. Imagine it would be green beer, because green beer, you only really get at St. Patrick's Day if you're at a pub. That is when going to pubs was actually a thing. Oh well, you know what they say, life's a bitch. Yeah, they say that, but this also ties into my other beer I'm having from Brasserie Dunham. It's called Binch. It's a 4.8% premium American lager. I'll admit, I saw this and saw the name called Binch, and that whole life's a bitch expression came to mind. I think my pizza's mocking me. The pan's acting up. So life's a binge, isn't it? Yeah, that's some more cheddar for you. Let's see what this one's going to be like. Okay, compared to the other one, this is like a very clear blonde lager. So I'm pounding the blonde American. Hooray. Okay, not bad. There's something in that taste I can't put my finger on also. You know, there's some undertastes in these beers or some foods that you just can't quite grasp, but you know there's something there. But hey, it's all good. It's basically something new to try out and something lighter to get back down to earth after doing a 6% IPA. What am I gonna do now? Under 10 minutes left to see how this is going. Beautiful. Yeah, this is my best batch of dough yet. It actually rose quite well to be able to create a crust. Oop. And the cheese is kind of bubbling too. It's almost like it's alive. Is it gonna eat me if I pull it out of the oven? Who's to say? Oh boy. Kinda want to go from being nice, semi-casual with a sweater to Iron Maiden, so you can say, rock the irons. But I didn't show you all the struggle. For a good 2 reasons. One, if I was taking off my shirt, I didn't want to be accused of performing a striptease that was unauthorized. And 2, if you're going to be doing a striptease, there's a chance you'd end up dancing around over here. And thanks to one of my earlier vlogs, I was doing dumb dances. I'm kind of under strict orders not to dance. I don't want to lose fans. So what am I going to do now? I'll have beer, and I'll put away my pesto and probably clean up the kitchen. Because once again, I say this all the time, but I'm going to keep saying it. If you're worried about a dirty kitchen, you know, there's other more important things to do. You cook in the kitchen, you prepare food, it's going to be a mess. Having a clean kitchen 24/7 means you're not doing anything at all. Let's just reality. I'm not trying to get too philosophical. Right, Felix? See, even Felix agrees with me. Oh, there you go, kitty. So what do you want to tell everybody right now? Not feeling sociable, are you? Hey? So cute and fluffy. Oh boy. Well, that was a cameo with one of my cats. Now it's going back for food. Okay, we're on the home stretch. Another 22 seconds. Oop. If you're wondering about this, I want to put my bandana on with the maiden shirt because I want to be a badass, you know? But I guess you can't really be badass if you're wearing zebra oven mitts, eh? Not much you can really do about it. It is what it is. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bing! We're ready. Let's see what this beauty is. Let's see what this saucy Stevie beauty is like. Oh my goodness. This is one hell of a pizza. Nice tasty pesto, melty cheese, salty pig, which gives an automatic bonus point. I am stoked. But I'm gonna let this settle for a bit. Set this to broil, because I kind of want to make a cheese bread to go with it too. So many gluten factors in here, so many cheese factors, so much... You know what? It's going to be a tasty meal. It is what it is. Oh my. I'm stoked to have this pizza, everybody. The bread, I already know what it's like, so I'm not even going to ask about it. But this is the pièce de résistance. So beautiful. Yeah, with this pesto, it's a very light recipe, like I said. Doesn't take as much oil, but when you mix it up with pasta, when you put it on pizza, you're not even going to notice it. You're just going to notice the heavenly scent of basil and garlic as well. But I felt like I needed to have something else to go with this too. I wanted to pound a light black blonde check again, you know, just for old time's sake. You know, gotta go with what you know, sometimes what you enjoy. Pick your poison, I guess, or pick your pleasure. This pizza is really tasty. And I feel like every time that I make this, the dough gets better and better too because I get more experience with it. Oh yeah. I'm definitely making more pizza down the road and maybe more prosciutto salami pizzas. So, before I go down to really enjoy this, thanks for watching this edition of the Warren and Yuki Cheese Cafe. Hope you enjoyed seeing me make pizza again from scratch, and also hope you enjoyed the pesto, and if any of you want a lighter variation of it, you know where to find it now. So, if you like what you see, just hit that like button below. Hit the subscribe button. You'll get any future updates on YouTube. And above all else, leave a comment if you want. Spread the cheese. Everyone loves cheese. Especially a few of my loyal viewers here. Peace, everyone.